now. Callum Johnson in the ring, the Lincolnshire light heavyweight, unbeaten in 15, takes on Willbeforce Shihepo for the Commonwealth crown. Commentary for this one, Paul Lee is now joined by Carl Froch and Adam Smith after our MC.
Eddie Hearn is proud to bring you 12 rounds for the vacant Commonwealth light heavyweight crown. Representing the Commonwealth Council and the British Boxing Board of Control, Mr. Alistair Hayes, and our 3 scoring judges. From Doncaster, Howard Foster. From Wellingborough, John Keane. From Birmingham, Terry O'Connor. Our timekeeper, Gary Grennan, and at the bell, a referee from Watford, Mr. Bob Williams. And now introducing, in the red corner, wearing blue shorts with white and red trim. He weighed in at 12 stone 4 pounds 8 ounces. His record, 31 contests, 23 wins, 17 inside the distance, only 8 defeats. He is the reigning WBO Africa Super Middleweight Champion from Windhoek, Namibia, known as Black Mamba Willbeforce Shihepo. And in the blue corner, winning white with red and gold, on the scales 12 stone 6 pounds 5 ounces. A perfect record, 15 wins from 15 contests, 10 wins inside the distance. He was the 2010 Commonwealth Games gold medalist. Hailing from Boston, Lincolnshire, training out of Manchester, England, undefeated, Callum, the One Johnson.
Okay, lads, obey my commands. In the event of a knockdown, the fighter standing will go to the furthest neutral corner and stay there. Defend yourself at all times, touch gloves.
A special night for the former Commonwealth Games gold medalist, Callum Johnson. He's had 15 wins, but it's been a frustrating stop-start 6-year career, and now he gets the opportunity to win a Commonwealth title in the professional ranks, in with the WBO African champion, Willbeforce Shihepo. That at super middleweight, though, so Callum Johnson should be the naturally bigger guy in there, and he's got a real chance now to get his career really up and running, Carl.
Yeah, the Commonwealth title against a tough, strong, rugged African rings a bell for me. Against King Charles Adama, my Commonwealth title fight, and they always come to fight. They're always tough and strong and resilient. So Callum Johnson's going to need to be not at his best, but he should be at his best early on, especially. Sharp jab, good boxing. He's got a Commonwealth gold medal in the amateurs, so he knows what he's doing.
And that was a real ring education for you, wasn't it, that night?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I didn't know which way it was going to go after round 6, and then I had some real good success towards the end, and then finished strong and got the fight on points. Grew a lot from that, took a lot of confidence from it, but the Africans always come, and they come to win, and they mean business.
Working physically so far, Shihepo also seems like he's trying to get a fast start to the fight and trying to put Johnson on the back foot, maybe to try to take away any potential confidence he may gain as the fight wears on.
Well, he's rattled off quick knockouts, Paulie, Callum Johnson, but this is a step up against a man in Shihepo who went the distance with Arthur Abraham back in 2013, so that's really good form. Tough, rugged, stubborn, and he's had a confident look about him as well this week up here in Manchester.
And he fits the description that Carl was describing about these African fighters. You know, he's real physical, even inside. Look, he won't really accept the clinch. Look, he's trying to work it out of the clinch as well, trying to keep you working, trying to occupy your mind, and so you don't relax.
Looking for the body shot, Johnson with a slight bit of a reddening to the nose already, and he's really trying the rough stuff here, Shihepo. As if to say, you know, I'm the one, the seasoned man, the 33-year-old.
Oh, nice hook by Johnson on the inside. Yeah, in these kind of fights, they test you mentally and physically, because, you know, Shihepo's going to lunge all over you. He's going to be all over you physically. And, of course, mentally, you're going to start to wonder, you know, am I going to get any rest in this?
Uppercut right hand as well from Shihepo. And a bump under the left eye already for Callum Johnson. It's welcome to the professional ranks if he hasn't had that already. It's been a great rise, an easy rise in many ways. But this is the first step into the unknown.
Well, this is exactly how it was for me against the African. In my Commonwealth title, it was almost a welcome to the pros for me. I think it was my 12th professional fight, and he's under the cosh here. Shihepo's putting the shots together. He throws an uppercut in close. He believes in himself. He's very rough and tough inside. You can see him, he's busy. The head's going in, the uppercut's going in. Callum Johnson getting mocked up already. Only round 1. He's not really enjoying himself, but he'll have to settle into it and just accept that this, this could be a 12-round hard fight if he doesn't get grips to his fight early on.
Yeah, good shots going in, trying the uppercut to Shihepo. Plenty of volume from the visitor from Namibia.
Sort of stay and rip it up, all right? Okay.
Busy man Joe Gallagher got back after last weekend with Liam Smith. Obviously has the big one tonight in Anthony Crolla, but he has so much time for each one of his students of the game. This one, Callum Johnson. But it's been a difficult start here in this Commonwealth 12 stone 7 title fight. First big opportunity for Callum Johnson, but Willbeforce Shihepo fancies his chances too. He's had a slightly stop-start career as well, like Johnson, and he wants to get his hands on a major belt.
Oh, of course he does. I mean, he's standing strong here, throwing a jab with authority. He's trying to land the left hook, and up close here is where he's sort of enjoying it. He's not afraid to be rough and rugged in close, and if this carries on, if this is his type of fight and he can take it late on, then you've got to favour him in this kind of fight. Johnson needs to just get his distance, keep at box at range and just move around the ring and circle the ring. Look like he's a little bit more in control, because Paulie, you know yourself, if it's rough and close like this, the rounds could run away from him.
And he's forcing the punches sometimes. You saw it in that little clinch that they ended up in. It was because he forced the right hand, mistimed it, and then they ended up inside in that rough stuff. That's what Shihepo wants. Don't force the shots. If only the jab is there, take the jab, snap it out. Don't just push it out, snap it out. Use your feints. Disrupt Shihepo with some feints as well.
Yep, dead right, but so hard to relax when you've got somebody in front of you.
Look, right here, he could be feinting even. Look, right here. His dead spot right here. If you're going to jab, feint. Use a feint. Just drop something. Give Shihepo something to think about.
Something to think about, exactly, yes. But it's easier said than done, Paulie, as you know.
Yeah, of course, because when the frustration sets in, it's very difficult to think.
Automatically start loading on.
Yep.
He just needs to relax behind his jab and just ease himself into it.
Plenty of up and close work already, could turn into a battle of attrition. He's been 12 rounds 3 times before. Shihepo, 3 fights ago, he took Johnny Muller the distance in South Africa. He's had a couple of wins since, back home in Namibia.
You see what Shihepo does here? He takes away the space from Johnson, so that Johnson can't work either. He kind of pushes up against the ropes. Nobody can work. A nice body shot in by Johnson.
Got center ring here, has Shihepo.
You see right there, he landed a 1-2 and then a clinch. Almost like a John Ruiz type of thing, you know? He'll land the shot and then he won't let you answer back. He'll clinch, and that'll win him the exchange.
Just a deep breath there from Shihepo, though. And a little bit of damage just inside the nose as well.
A nice jab by Johnson.
Yeah, Shihepo, Adam, he's using a lot of energy with his style, and he's breathing over his mouth open.
Oh, good left hook from Callum Johnson. That was the best shot of the fight so far, inside the last 30 seconds of the 3rd round. And you felt he needed it. And a body shot as well going in, just as Shihepo started breathing heavier. And I wonder if he spotted that in there, Paulie.
Yeah, of course, that was a good shot. And of course, the breathing heavy also comes from Shihepo, the constant pushing, the physical body-to-body contact. That wears you out. That makes you tired. It's almost like rugby-esque. Oh, good hook again.
Lovely work again, and the hands start to flow. And Shihepo's bundled over to the floor. No knockdown, but it was a very, very good spell that at the end of the round for Callum Johnson, and a breakthrough after a torrid beginning.
Okay, he hurt him with that.
When you come inside, wait inside, okay?
Suddenly he looks shaken, and nothing like he has in the first couple, Carl.
Well, he got caught with a left hook there, then a right uppercut, and there another left hook. Nicely timed there by Callum Johnson. And, you know, when these shots start landing and you're on your front foot, we see Shihepo.
He's finding
breathing heavy.
He's finding home for that hook, and he managed to throw it. Was the second one? This was the second one later in the round.
And when Callum Johnson starts to settle in, it's that amateur pedigree, that quality that he's had over the years, and the higher quality amateur contest that sets you up for these tough profiles. It doesn't set you up for the roughness and toughness, but if you can start to relax into it, all you can see is Shihepo going downhill and Callum Johnson stepping on and stepping forward and taking over.
The amateur fundamentals make your punches a little straighter, keep your hooks a little shorter, you know, and that goes a long way sometimes in these kind of rough and tumble fights.
The experience of the ABAs, the Commonwealth Championships, the multi-nations. He has got class, and we know he can finish fighters as well quickly. 10 knockouts already on the slate of Callum Johnson. He's had a little bit of an activity, and he had a very difficult personal time losing his father recently. They were really tight. His dad, who's been such an influence on him all the way through, and he said he will carry on the journey and win titles for him. It's become a personal thing.
Well, that will give him drive and that desire when he's training. When he's in the ring, he's not going to want to give up. If he's got his dad anywhere in the back of his mind, that's obviously going to be good for him. He's loading up a little bit here, Callum. He's throwing good shots, but he had a great finish to the end of round 3. Yeah, and if he can carry that on now, I'm not really concerned about him here, because Shihepo's breathing.
Yeah, he's got to try not to force the offense, that's all. You know, pick it up where he left off last round, but set it up. Continue to set it up. Don't let Shihepo back into the fight. Don't give him any reason to get confident again.
It's become a family affair. The tattoo just on the top side of his chest is a message to his late father.
Shihepo still being very physical inside.
Body shots. Are they going to be key here, Cole?
Yeah, this is good now from Callum, because he's up close. He's not being bullied around, and he's answering back with nice body shots now, uppercuts and left hooks to the body. And they really do drain you as a fighter when you start taking a couple of, they don't even need to be heavy shots. If they catch you when you're breathing in and the shot hits you, they wind you and they drain you, and you feel them later on. And Callum's now putting shots together, and he's not really getting hit with much up close with the rough stuff. I feel that Shihepo's had such a bad round 3. I know it was only one round, but it was early on. It was an early on breakthrough for Callum, which he can now build on. It's still going to be rough and tough for him in there, but I can see this swinging his way. Good defence there on his back foot. Shihepo's working. Great left hook, hook to the body from Callum, followed by a left hook to the head. And these shots are driving home now. Don't get me wrong, Shihepo's firing back and having his moments of success, but Callum Johnson is now looking more settled and more comfortable in there.
He just glanced down to Tobias Nestor alongside us in the red corner, did Shihepo, as if to say, this is a pace. Is he going to be able to continue that against a fresh light heavyweight in Callum Johnson?
If you notice now, the momentum's changed. Callum Johnson's actually taking steps forward now as he attacks. He's getting his momentum going coming forward. So Shihepo's not going to be enjoying that. Obviously, he's pushing him back. You can see he's physically strong, but taking a good left hook there on the chin. Callum Johnson sent that in, picked it and timed it nicely. Shihepo looking to hang on. Worrying sign for Shihepo. Callum Johnson, great right.
Oh, big right hand, body shot as well. And again, like the end of the third, a real push from Callum Johnson and a sag from Shihepo and another right hand.
I tell you, Shihepo just looks like he's trying to walk in and hold. I mean, and Johnson's tagging him on the way in.
Great round for Callum. Finished the 3rd strong, finished the 4th.
He's beating the fight out of Shihepo.
It's a packed corner. Scott Quick there. You can just see his profile. Had his first round of sparring back after the loss here on that big night to Carl Frampton and the injury he sustained. And it's good to have Scott back. I think he'll be back in the ring for good in a couple of months. Very much part of Joe Gallagher's corner team, and that's great to see, isn't it?
It is great to see. I mean, when you've got familiarity in the corner, it's helpful, and you feel more relaxed. And if you can feel relaxed when you're boxing, you can perform at your best.
Shihepo's balance is almost so bad. His awkwardness makes him good, but also it hurts him because he can't put more than 1 or 2 shots together because he falls in.
Callum Johnson does not want to be in front of Shihepo here for the first minute or 2, because Shihepo's dangerous early on. We've seen he fades late on. And when he's fading later on in the round, that's when Johnson, a bit naughty there from Johnson, hitting him when he's turned, got away with that one.
Yeah, back of the head, and he's complaining to the referee, but he's not protecting himself, and that's inexperience.
Yeah, he needs to be careful doing that. Inexperience, protect yourself at all times, one of the golden rules in boxing.
I think he's annoyed with the ref, because the ref took a point from him, so he's probably saying, like, hey, man, there's fouls on the other side, too.
Well, remember when Victor Ortiz fought Mayweather? Yeah. You can't do it.
You can't, surely you got to protect yourself at all times.
Shihepo complaining, and that will buoy up the Johnson team. And just standing off.
This is where Johnson needs to be throwing a few fakes now and just just teased him in with the jab and a little jab to the body and a little body move instead of standing there waiting, because he'll end up walking into something if you're not careful.
100%, Carl. You can keep him occupied even when nothing's going on if you have little feints and little touches.
He's got him in the corner here, and he's loading up a bit, swinging away, trying to force the shots. I mean, he's got the upper hand, but he's desperate to land something. He's not careful, he's going to walk into something. I'd like to see Johnson just jabbing him, using his boxing a little bit now.
It's interesting, though, he's got a good chin, though, this Willbeforce, Shihepo, and he's working the body, Johnson. That's obviously the tactics of Joe Gallagher. Back he comes, uppercuts and his own body shots here. Shihepo, game and rugged, has not come here to lie down, certainly not. Wants his Commonwealth title. Is he good enough to get it, though?
Some good success there from Shihepo, some good work, but Johnson really blocked a lot of the stuff, took it on his gloves and arms, and nothing really penetrated the guard. So good defense from Johnson, weathering the little attack there, and landed a lovely right hand over the top of Shihepo's lazy left, and he slumped onto the ropes here, and he's just not enjoying himself, Shihepo. He's looking tired and cumbersome.
He's looking ragged.
Yes, and this is now the last 30 seconds of the round now, where Callum Johnson should really be letting the shots go, putting the combinations together. And if he didn't get involved in that fight early on in the round, referee's not happy, bringing them together. He's have a word. Doesn't like the rough stuff.
Oh, left hook. Beautiful shot from Callum Johnson. Another peach there from the Boston man. And again, at the back end of the 3-minute sessions, this is where Johnson puts his foot on the pedal. And Shihepo is sucking it up now and taking some of these body shots. He's just chipping away, Paulie.
Little by little. Yeah, he is chipping away at him. He's landing them body shots, and he's winning. He's finishing strong towards the end of the round. I'd like to see Callum Johnson just jab and move and use his boxing ability a little bit more early on. You know, he's got a nice tight guard, landed a lovely left hook there, and went straight into close quarters. So he's not in the range where he can receive a counter punch. That left hook was nice. I mean, Shihepo almost closed his eyes as that punch came towards him, and his eyes look really dazed there. So that shot hurt him, and he held on straight away. So Callum Johnson's got the hurting and the finishing of Shihepo, but he doesn't need to rush anything. He's got to remember this is a 12-round fight, and if he can just box early on in the round, then finish the round strong as he is doing, he can make this a lot easier for himself.
Especially if he's able to not fall in, he'll even be able to follow up with a second and third punch in the combination that can really do some damage, especially when he lands that initial left hook. He's landed some really nice left hooks, but if Callum's able to not fall in when he lands that left hook and keep his balance on the follow-up, so he might be able to do some extra damage on the follow-up.
Second half of this Commonwealth light heavyweight title affair. Callum Johnson from Britain, Willbeforce, Shihepo from Namibia. He's only been stopped once. He was disqualified, actually, in a couple of rounds back in May 2009 for landing an extra punch after knocking his opponent to the camber. So he's obviously very sturdy, got a great chin, but he is taking punishment, and there are signs, Carl, just every now and again that he doesn't really fancy it.
No, you're correct there, Adam. He's coming out at the start of every round quite sharp and quite strong, but it's only lasting for 20-30 seconds.
Yeah, this round he looks even more cumbersome and tired to start the round, though, Carl.
Blood from the mouth as well.
Little by little.
And he's backed up in his own corner, and Johnson trying to find the accurate, clean shots as this tough
If Callum can just keep him working, doesn't have to be pretty. If Callum can just keep him working, I'm telling you, Shihepo is the last place Shihepo wants to be in, is this ring right now.
Shihepo's clever at making it messy, making it awkward, closing the distance here. We can see him constantly pushing forward as Callum tries to make room. He closes the gap, closes the distance, making it hard for Callum. But Callum just needs to relax. He's loaded up there with a jab right hand, then clenching together. If he just throws a few fakes, gets behind that jab, moves off. Referee having a look here. What's he doing? Another point there for holding and the hitting. So the referee's making it clear here that he's not happy with the holding, the rough stuff. This is good for Callum because he's going to tidy it up from Shihepo's point of view and send it even more.
It's good for Callum, Carl, but I think it's a bit strict on the part of the referee.
It is very strict.
Yeah.
It is very strict.
Shihepo, nice left hook.
Yeah, he's
Callum's
trying to get out of the way of the left hooks, and then he's having the points taken off.
I'll tell you what, Shihepo's legs are getting tired, so he's not coming in as low anymore. He's coming in straight up, and Callum's able to hit him with more of these left hooks. You fly in straight up like this, and Callum's able to land those hooks. When you fatigue, you're not bending your knees as much as you should.
I'm actually having flashbacks here, Adam, to the sparring, and I'm remembering that Callum's got a good left hook.
He dropped his hands, Carl, did Shihepo, and he almost invited Johnson in with an open target. A minute to go in the 7th round here. He's never been beyond 7 in a ring. He might not need to here. Callum Johnson, he's down Shihepo, and the resistance is starting to fail. Coming apart here, Willbeforce Shihepo. He's had the referee, Bob Williams, on his case. He's had Callum Johnson's body shots, and it could be now a major opportunity for Johnson. 40 to go.
Held up by the ropes there, Shihepo. Callum Johnson landed a couple of good left hooks at him, and then nice body shot, and then put him over, really. The ropes kept him up, so great round for Callum. If he can just sustain the pressure here, nice right hand, and just pick his punches, give himself the room, he could have him out of here, and what a fantastic win that would be, and a great statement.
Looking at the referee again, Shihepo, showing inexperience, annoyance, anger. He's all over the place, right hand. Johnson again, almost on the verge of getting rid of Willbeforce Shihepo and lifting his first major title. Surely, Paulie, a matter of time now.
Yeah, Callum is wearing him out. He's winning the battle of attrition.
He shakes his head. He's had 2 points off after 2 really good rounds at the beginning. It's all sort of slipping away and going wrong for Shihepo.
Well, I wanted to watch how he unfolded early on, and it was quite quick. Callum started to have his success in round 3. He's took over from round 3, Callum. That's quite early to change the momentum of the fight. Shihepo just could not maintain physically what he was doing early on.
And the referee, Bob Williams, in there having another go at Shihepo. Paul, you feel a bit sorry for him, don't you?
Yeah, because, you know, professional boxing is supposed to have its physicality allowed, some of the physical work on the inside allowed. Shihepo can't win on the outside. He's never going to win a pretty fight. And some of the dirty stuff, as long as it's within the rules, I mean, it's kind of allowed. You know, I thought it was kind of strict to take off points. Some warnings, yes.
We're just a week away from Nathan Cleverly's World Light Heavyweight title opportunity. We bring that live to you on Sky from Germany against Jürgen Bremer. Earlier tonight we saw Jose Burton, the 12-stone 7 division, very much alive again. And Callum Johnson, who's had a really good last couple of rounds, momentum going his way as Willbeforce Shihepo tries to regroup, because he was just becoming easy to hit, and again a right hand from Johnson. It might be a sort of last hurrah here from Shihepo, and he could be dangerous, Carl.
I think it is a last hurrah, and it is a dangerous one for Shihepo, because he's looking comfortable with that jab. He's walking onto clean right hands there from Johnson. So I think the writing's on the wall here. Shihepo's going to come out and just going to have a go and try and land something, but Johnson just needs to relax behind that jab and just let the shots land themselves. They'll just flow if he can just relax and do what he's been doing in the gym, what he's been doing in sparring. The stoppage is there for him to take. He just doesn't want to make it messy.
Furthest he's been in a professional ring went 7 with James Tucker and John Anthony. But this is the 8th championship rounds. Shihepo has done them.
I think it's important for Johnson, though, because Shihepo, if this is indeed his last stand, if he's able to land some punches, he'll regain his confidence. And if your opponent regains his confidence, you know, you now have a fight on your hands for these last 4.5 rounds. So it's important for Johnson to try to keep the momentum on his side.
I think if Johnson now just puts a combination together, double jab, right hand, left hook, maybe slip an uppercut in there, 5 or 6 punches in combinations, he can force a stoppage here. Doesn't really want to be getting involved in the up-close, rough stuff, because Shihepo's just surviving now.
The noise and cheers you might have heard is because Wayne Rooney has taken his seat at ringside alongside his wife Colleen, next to Eddie Hearn. He's a big mate of Anthony Croller's, and I think a lot of the other United players are in and around the arena tonight. I even think a few Leicester boys have stayed on even after the defeat to cheer on Crawler. He's that popular.
He is very popular. I've seen Wayne Rooney here a couple of times. He's been to Manchester when I boxed Groves in the first one. He was here, but he's been to Croller's last fight. This one, he's quite a familiar face here in Manchester. The boxing, he's a big boxing fan.
Big left hook from Callum Johnson. Out comes the gum shield of Willbeforce Shihepo.
Who was also cut, by the way, on his left eye, although I think that might have been a clash of heads.
Yep, little nick there as well.
Looking really tired here, Adam. He's looking in pain, and he's looking like a man that's about to be stopped, and I think he will be.
Johnson breathing heavier as well, so you have to take into consideration if he doesn't get rid of Shihepo, which he might do seemingly any time, he just could have to keep something for down the stretch. But Shihepo is just ragged and holding on again.
Johnson working hard and loading up with a few shots there, Adam. That's probably why he's breathing heavy. He just needs to take his time, relax, but it's really hard. When he can see the stoppage, which looks like it's about to come, it's hard to not load up and force that.
That's one thing I think Johnson has to work on after this fight. I think if there's one thing to criticize about Johnson, he has loaded up a little bit too much almost every shot. But in his defense, Shihepo does have a style that's very, very difficult to look at against.
Good left hook again, tries the right hand, just misses by a whisker there. Callum Johnson, it's another round in the bank for the Brit. He's obviously a very proud man. Had 125 amateur fights. He's had 31 professional outings. He runs a farm in Namibia. He's obviously very strong, very determined, but just being outclassed a little bit and outthought really.
Yeah, I think he's being almost worn out. He's probably thinking about the work on the farm as these rounds wear him out, and he probably doesn't want to be here. He gives me the look of a fighter that almost needs a way out. It's just Callum Johnson needs to get him out little by little, you know?
He's in the sweat-stained blue shorts, Willbeforce. Shihepo, the white and red, remember, of Callum Johnson, looking for his 16th straight victory and a first title.
He was sat there, slumped on his stool, slowly rose to come out for that round. He's having a go here. You've got to give him credit. I mean, he's putting combinations together, but Callum Johnson doing everything right, timing the left hook nicely. He got caught with a little shot there, Callum, but it's hard to not get caught when you're on the back foot in that corner.
Swapping leather, and again, Willbeforce Shihepo going for it a little bit at the beginning of the round, and Callum Johnson just needs to be a bit careful here. He's caught up on the ropes. This is where experience, Paulie, comes into play. So important.
Yeah, and again, if you let Shihepo, there's that hook that's been landing consistently for Johnson. If you let Shihepo have his moments to gain his confidence back, you have him on the edge of wanting to be out of this fight. You give him some confidence, so you got to let him back in the fight, regardless of you being ahead and on points. Now you're going to give him the confidence to want to finish the fight.
You mentioned your Commonwealth title fight and how difficult that was all those years ago. It's already been more of an education than his past 15 fights put together, this for Johnson.
It has, yes, definitely. Shihepo, very tough, having a go there in the corner, but I wasn't worried for Callum there. Great defense, arms tucked up, hands by the sides of his ears, looking at the shots coming, seeing everything that's coming at him. The odd one was slipping through. It's the ones that you don't see that do the damage, and he could see everything that was coming at him. He was quite confident and comfortable sat there. I still don't like to see it though, because as you said, Adam, it's dangerous. It's dangerous times, and it only takes one punch to turn the fight around. But I really do think Callum Johnson's starting to enjoy this now. The only problem with it is he's loading up a little bit, and he's just missing and not timing his shots correctly, because he could get Shihepo out of it. It is a shot.
Beautiful shot. He's going to fall, but Williams goes in as if to stop it. He's flat on his back. I think the energy, more than anything, has gone. The tank is on empty. Willbeforce Shihepo's going to be knocked out. And Callum Johnson, the Commonwealth Games gold medalist, becomes a Commonwealth champion in the professional ranks. 16-0, and it was tough. It was difficult. And Shihepo was an obstacle that he needed to chip away at. And as the medical attention just goes to Willbeforce on the floor there, and I'm sure it's just an exhaustion more than a damaging problem, but we wait just for the doctors to have a look, and Joe Gallagher showing concern. But it was one of those fights, wasn't it? It's hot in here tonight, and it was just, Paulie, a matter of time. You felt that he was just not going to be able to go with it. Yeah,
I felt like Callum was breaking him down, not only physically, but mentally as well. Just putting the oxygen on Willbeforce Shihepo right now. Just, I think these are all precautionary things. We'll see. He took a big right hand, and these are obviously the pros in the medical field here. We have at ringside the BBFC.
He wants to take the oxygen mask off. That's his pride as he raises to his feet. But
that goes to show you it was also a lot of exhaustion. You know, he's probably fine, but it was a lot of exhaustion. And, you know, once that big shot did land, the combination of him being hurt and being exhausted.
No, you're right, Paulie. They have to be careful. They have to be careful and fast at ringside, and there was very quick with the oxygen. But like you said, Adam, the exhaustion and that right hand there he took.
And he walked into it too. So
he walked into, on top of being exhausted, will have double, triple effect. And you see here, he's just.
And we were criticizing Callum Johnson for loading up so much. Loading up paid off in that particular moment because
he did load up.
Not only did he load up and he landed it, but Shihepo double impact because he walked into it.
He walked into it with a very, very cumbersome right hand of himself. I mean, he left himself wide open. Very dangerous work there from Shihepo.
That's not only the awkwardness, but also the exhaustion. The way he's coming in so wide open and kind of sloppy and getting more sloppy every round. It was the exhaustion that was causing that as well.
They took the risk because he'd never been in with anybody anything like Willbeforce. Shihepo, remember, the man had been 12 rounds with Arthur Abraham, but the gamble has paid off, and I'm sure he will have learned, Carl, so much from that.
We've learned an awesome amount. I mean, very mature, to say of his inexperience and the fact that he's not been very busy over his years as a professional. To come through the early onslaught the way he did, he sort of met fire with fire early on. Shihepo here, taking his gloves off. Who's in the corner there with him, Adam? What am I looking?
Yep, the doctor just checking him over. The team consoling him. It is Callum Johnson who becomes a Commonwealth champion.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the end comes 2 minutes and 7 seconds of round number 9. Referee Bob Williams reaches the count of 10. The winner by count out. He is now the light heavyweight champion of the Commonwealth, Callum "The One" Johnson.
Well, it was hard, it was physical, it was a bit messy at times, but a spectacular ending. Hopefully Shihepo is okay. Overall, how do you rate that performance, Johnny?
It's tough, it was scrappy, it was a good learning fight for Johnson because, again, Shihepo's the kind of opponent that stays in your face, tries to put you under pressure. He fancied this from the off because he thought his style was scrappy enough and awkward enough for Johnson to struggle, and hoped down the back end of the fight his experience of fighting 12 rounds would come in play. And it was a hard slog, you know. Callum Johnson made it a hard fight for himself. He got times when he could have kept it long and boxed him and chopped him those big left hooks. He got involved in a tear-up, and that made the fight too even.
Great win on paper. What did you think overall of Callum Johnson's tactics?
Well, it was tough early on because he had to adjust a little bit. He got smothered early on, and it was the first time that he was in a real competitive fight. So obviously that took a little bit of adjustment to do as well. But as the fight panned on, I'd like to have seen him use a little half step, give a little bit room for that left hook, and not load up as much. But again, it's a learning fight.
Callum, congratulations, new Commonwealth champion. How did you enjoy that? It was a tough fight.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I didn't enjoy it all that much, to be fair. Very scrappy, very messy. I think the occasion
Why was it scrappy?
I think the occasion might have got to me a little bit. You know, I was loading up too much. You know, I hurt him early on, and I thought I'm going to get him out of there with one shot, and probably looked for it far too much. But he come in the end, and I'm pleased to get a few good rounds out. And let's be honest, the kid's boxed Arthur Abraham. He's had 31 fights, never been stopped. I think Box Nation had him winning that. I think they had him winning that fight by 1 round against Abraham. So, you know, the record he has speaks for itself, and I think getting him out of there was a good result.
The body shots on the inside seemed to weaken him as the rounds went on.
Yeah, definitely. I could feel him tiring. I think them left hooks I was hitting him with, again, far too much. I was looking for them, but I think that was weakening him. A few right hands, and I was feeling him getting weaker and weaker. And I knew it was only a matter of time before one did do him, but as I say, I keep saying it, but you know, I was looking for it too much there.
Joe, good night for you so far. Obviously, the main one still to come with Anthony Crolla. But you've got a bit of a dilemma on your hands, haven't you? Having Hosea Burton as the British champion, Callum Johnson same weight as the Commonwealth champion.
Yeah, we've had it before in the gym. Paul Smith was British champion, Callum English, Anthony Crolla was British, Scott Cardle English. So, yeah, listen, Callum, Jose Burton's got Frank Buglione. Callum Johnson, his age, he's waited for his chance, he's got it now, and we've got to push Callum Johnson quickly.
How's Anthony Crolla backstage?
It's all right. It's mostly we're sat in the back watching this, and the crowd already started shouting Anthony Crolla. The atmosphere is going to be electric, and I just want to thank everybody that's come out tonight. I know we've got to need the support during this fight.
Quick word with motor Eddie Hearn. What's next for Callum? How do you want to move him forward?
Like Joe said, really quickly, you know, he's been waiting for that chance for a long time. Let's move on to European titles. That was a tough fight tonight. I know he held a lot, but he was going to take a shot like that to finish it off. Let's get moving now. Maybe a quick Commonwealth defence, start picking up these European titles, making up for lost time. He's a real talent, and he's got the double now with the Commonwealth Games gold medal and the real thing.
Well done tonight.
One more thing to all my family back at home. We've done the double, Dad. Come on.
Well done, Callum.